guys, it's Mary.
And Amma.
And we want you guys to like,
subscribe,
share,
and comment.
down below. Because today we are doing season 9, episode 2.
Yes.
And today it is all about the daughters. And
Yes.
Hunter is actually going wrestling, which
Yes.
kind of brought up this whole conversation about how Cody is kind of closer to his boys than he is with his daughters.
Absolutely.
Now, they did talk a little bit about Cody's wrestling career and stuff like that, and how wrestling is very important.
Right.
But
right.
Christine got into it, and not with Cody, but just like in the confessional,
Yeah.
where she basically said that, with Cody, I have really only daughters,
I know.
and it's really hard for them because when they were younger, he would take them on dates all the time,
Yeah.
and then he stopped. It's like once they became 13 or whatever,
Yeah.
he could no longer relate to them. Or I think personally that's probably when they started talking a little bit
Yeah.
more,
And they have their emotions.
and
now.
their opinions
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe is one of the things or whatever.
Mhm.
But I do feel the whole thing with him not being able to connect to his daughters, like even he said that he regrets not being there for his daughters as much as he should have been.
Right.
Especially with the older daughters now being in college, he feels like he
Yeah.
wasn't there as much.
And missed opportunity, and so that's
Yeah.
why he's not close to them anymore.
Yeah, because I feel like with the whole daughter thing, I feel like there's really no reason. Like, you chose this life.
Yeah.
You have several women in your life. You have
Yeah.
several spouses.
Yeah.
I don't get how you don't relate to a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't have to play around with her and tussle and wrestle or anything.
No.
You can literally just take her out on dates. You can
Yeah.
take her to go get ice cream. You can do sweet things for her.
Yeah.
Things where you're just sitting down at the park doing a picnic or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just shut up and listen.
Exactly.
But Cody is not somebody who actually shuts up and listens. He's the one that does the talking.
Yeah, he
and that's
likes
where you go
to
wrong.
Listen instead of talking.
Yes, and he likes to be validated.
Yeah.
But women also like to be validated in a way as
Absolutely.
well. But I don't
Absolutely.
think he's not good at that even with his wives.
Wives, absolutely
He doesn't
not.
validate how they feel, whether that's good, bad, or
Yeah.
happy or sad.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why it's hard for him to relate to them, because he does not connect emotionally to women that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I think he
So-
leans on Mary to handle the women's emotions.
Absolutely. I
You
feel
know,
like he
that's what
hides
he does.
behind them a lot
That
of the
could be
time.
maybe why he goes and went into plural marriage, because he cannot handle that part of a woman, so he depends on the sister wives to be able to handle the emotions. You go talk to the wife, I can't deal with that mess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I can't deal with that with you. So that's like Christine. She has to go talk to Mary, and Mary gives her bad advice because she's an enablist when it comes to Cody.
Yeah, she's
You know?
enabling him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is, because I remember there have been a couple of times in the shows where whenever a sister wife is angry or whatever, you gotta send another sister wife to go handle it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's where you go wrong, Cody, because it's like, because you're not tapping into your emotional, your vulnerable, and your caring and loving and validating side,
Yeah.
that's why your relationship with Christine went so left.
Yeah, and you're
Because
not
you feel
balanced.
like you're not balanced
Yeah.
at all. You know
So
what I'm
your
saying?
household is not balanced.
Exactly. You have to. A man cannot really be a really good man, like 360, without having some woman in his life who
Yeah.
challenges him and
Exactly.
who also kind of, in a sense, has to force the man.
Yeah.
Not force him, but it kind of challenges him to tap into the side of him that most men don't.
Absolutely.
So I
No
think
one
it's
to
very
man.
important. That's why men and women are good together, because you
Exactly.
have the man challenges the woman a different way, and the woman challenges the man in a different way.
Yes.
But you have to be able to tap into both, and he
Yeah.
doesn't do that. That's why Christine felt for so many years, one, that she lost respect for you. Two, she felt like you never validated her, you never heard her.
Never listened,
And then with
yeah.
Mary, it's like you never wanted to be wrong.
You never comforted
You never
Mary.
comforted her.
She cries so much, but you never comfort.
He
this
doesn't even
woman.
do, he don't even do this for support.
No. You never comforted. Just hold her and say, "I'm so sorry. I don't understand what you're going through.
I
but I'm
wish
gonna- I'm
I
just gonna
did,
sit
but
here
I'm
with
gonna be
you.
there for you.
You know, just lean on me. Just cry it out.
Yeah. And
You
it's
know?
just not fair, because Venus, this is a very, you chose this life.
You did.
You chose this life. So
Mhm.
you cannot sit here and play victim
Yeah.
and be like, woe is me.
Yeah.
You decided to have 4 wives. If you
Yeah.
could not handle it, you should have stuck to one.
And if
Okay?
you could have your
So,
children, you should not have had these kids. And they talk about it's not easy to talk to a 13-year-old.
You are the man.
You
I
said
do not
it
want to
again.
hear that crap.
I really don't. I'm so done because it's like this is like the third time he has said so on
It's
this
so
show.
hard. It's
Talking
so
to
hard.
a 13-year-old. It's
You
so
think-
hard. Will you go and get yourself a book and read and find out what to do with a 13-year-old, or talk about that to your psychologist? Like
Right.
this should not be any damn excuse. You have so many other young children coming up, young girls coming up who are not 13 yet. Get it together.
And then I also feel like
So annoying.
there's a part of me that feels like it's kind of sexist. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you're able to connect with the boys, but with
Easily.
the girls, you decide at 13 you detach yourself.
Yeah.
Because one, that's where she has her emotions. Two, that's where she has her opinions.
Yeah.
Three, she's growing into herself.
I know,
And,
and
then
then
she also
usually
that's
she
when she's
starts her
getting her
period.
period.
Exactly.
So that's when he decides I'm going to detach myself when
Yes.
she really needs me,
When she really
and when she's
needs
actually coming into womanhood.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that is my issue.
Oh, but he doesn't detach from Robin's girls though.
No.
He's not detached from them.
No, you choose
No.
who you want to be
and that
detached
one
from.
is more than the age of 13.
You know, but also, and then even I remember season 16 when basically the Janelle's boys were getting on him or whatever stuff like that, and he was trying to kick them out the house and stuff. He
Yeah.
said, you know, the reason why I get along with Robin's kids better is because you know they are younger and they don't talk back to me. Robin has established from the beginning he is your father figure. You don't disagree with him. You don't talk back to him, and none of this stuff. My kids, they got all this mouth and da 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 da. He does well when people shut up and think that he's
Yeah.
right and that they don't check him.
Yeah.
That is where it's wrong, Cody.
Yeah.
You have to actually be accountable.
Yeah.
You have to be able to look in the mirror
Yeah.
and know that I'm not always right.
Yeah.
You're not the end all be all. You're
Yeah.
not God. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
you have to be able to self-correct.
Yeah.
And you have to
Humble.
be able to be humble.
Yeah.
And get your head out of where the sun don't shine.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I remember. I think it was 2 seasons ago when he talked about Dayton, Christine's older son, Robin's older son,
Mhm.
and he said that Dayton is really open. He really opens up to me, even more than all of my other children. Do you understand, Cody, that Dayton, he's just coming into the picture. He has a deadbeat father. Well, according to Robin.
I don't know how true that is because in the
let me
later
just say
episode,
that.
I heard that the daughter actually called him when he signed the papers, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't the father I should have been. I didn't have the means to." So it didn't sound like he was a deadbeat from the daughter. That's not what I heard. But then Robin said in the confessional, that just goes to show you, kids really see it differently than adults.
Oh,
Excuse me?
yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
So, yeah,
But
so it was 2 seasons ago that Cody was saying this about Dayton. Already the bias was there. Like, oh, he opens up to me even more than
Why
my
don't you
own
figure
children,
out
my
why?
other children.
figure out why that is.
He's
These are your biological
logical
kids.
You
So
know?
the fact that someone who is not biologically yours is
It's
opening
opening up
up
to
more,
you. I mean-
opening up to you more than your own kids, you need to look in the damn mirror.
They want you to adopt them. They're going to be on their better behaviors than maybe your own children. But, you had given up on your own children from when they were young.
Yeah, especially
When
the
they were
daughters.
young. When they were young. And even when Janelle was having problems with her sons fighting, and she will call you, you said you didn't want to be the bad parent because you don't see them that often. You don't want to be the bad guy. So a lot of times she felt like she was a single mom, and sometimes she did say that.
Yeah.
So, anywho. But I think that was it for episode 2. Maddie wants to get baptized into the LDS church.
Oh, yes.
Hunter won.
He did win his wrestling
Yeah,
match.
he did.
The whole thing with Maddie, I think the
Yeah.
parents, they brought it up in another episode with those students or whatever. But the whole LDS thing, because they're so, I think Robin said that they are ashamed that they ever had polygamy in their church. I could be wrong. I'm not Mormon. Don't come for me. But I think that there could be issues with that because they know your family. They're
Yeah.
all on TV. They're
Yeah.
claiming to be Mormon or Mormon fundamentalists.
Right.
And they're seeing that one of their kids is actually thinking about getting out of that church
Yeah.
and trying to come to
They're
theirs.
probably gonna give you a
They're
hard
probably
time.
going to maybe either use you as a pawn to bring down the family,
Yeah.
or they're going to really give you a hard time
Yeah.
and kind of make it impossible.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like that is not really a true church, because a
Yeah.
church is supposed to be a place
It's
where
for
you're
you.
not judged. It's a
But-
place where you go to worship God. It's
Yeah.
not about let me judge your family about polygamy.
Yeah.
Y'all, I mean, you gotta
And
work
you know
that out.
something? The church is filled with human beings that are flawed.
I know,
and
but I'm
make
talking about the
decisions that
heads
are
of
wrong.
it. Like the heads should really try
But-
their best
Yep.
to be accepting. But that's not my church. I don't believe
But
in
remember-
Mormonism or whatever,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
But we don't
But-
know Mormonism.
But when I think of a place where you go and
I
worship,
hear
I
what
think
you're
of a
saying.
place that's filled with openness and
Right.
love. Not
Absolutely.
openness to everything, of course.
yeah,
but-
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm not Mormon, so who am I to talk? I'm just a Muslim.
But you know, I just feel like churches, mosques, they're filled with people, and people are flawed. It's just like the remember the other church that had that Warren Jeffrey character there?
That was not a church, that was a cult.
No, that was the fundamentalist LDS church where Cody was from.
I
But
don't
it was
know
a
if he's
different
FLDS. I don't want
He
nobody
didn't
to
say
say
that. I'm saying that it's FLDS. That's what I'm saying to you. It's fundamental,
He calls
fundamentalist.
himself a Mormon fundamentalist, so that's what I want to call him.
I know, but
I
the
don't know.
LDS is the Mormon church, is the Latter-day Saints, which also is the same as the Mormon church. The Latter-day Saints, the LDS church, is the
I'm
same
going to
thing.
continue to say Mormon fundamentalist.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
want nobody
fine.
talking
That's-
about Cody is an FDLS. I'm trying to say he's a Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Mormon. I'm
I-
not saying that.
No, and he wasn't, but he was part of another sect of it, right? Where the women wore those outfits and they had their hair doing a certain way, and they had child brides in their whole thing. So,
That's
you know,
what's called
at
a
the
cult.
yeah, at the end of the day, sometimes even in, I mean, we have seen in our day, you know, disgrace coming to these people, men of God, women of God. We've seen them making awful decisions.
They're not
you
people
know?
of God, they're people of Satan.
So Maddie, hopefully, she can. I think
Decipher.
exactly.
And really,
You
because I
said
just
the right
think
word.
it's
I think she will
interesting.
be okay.
I just think it's really interesting the whole thing about Maddie converted to a whole nother religion, you know, and then also
Remember, those
her
the-
finding peace. Like she seemed a little bit angry,
She
like just
did,
a
actually.
tad bit
She did.
annoyed when they
She
were
did.
coming to question her or ask her about it or whatever. And she's like, "I found peace. I was very depressed in college. I found peace there."
I think also
So-
because you know now that she's gotten older,
I think she's trying to find herself. She's trying to find where she belongs in religion. And I feel like there's some things that have been going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. That's, you know, I don't know. But I think the whole thing's interesting. I would love for them to do a tell-all or something with Maddie.
Yeah, I think, you know what I feel? I think like when you go away to college, right, and you have separated from your family, it's like just like what you were saying, when you're in a bad relationship and you separate, the clarity comes. So when she was there, all of a sudden she's there saying, oh, I really enjoyed the way I grew up in this family. And then now she's in college. There's a separation, clarity. She's seeing other children, other, you know, peers with their monogamous families maybe.
I'm sure she's
And
also-
now she's looking, and then when she comes home, now she's really seeing, you know, Cody doesn't hang out with the girls. Oh, I remember when he stopped hanging out with me. It's a whole bunch of things that starts piling up.
I
as
just
the-
think about that.
Yeah, as the children get into adulthood, they begin to judge the parents, right?
Yeah.
And because we're all flawed, parents are flawed, parents make mistakes. Now all of a sudden, it's like, so the anger is there. And then when they had the nerve to want to ask her, especially the father, when I asked her, well, I hope you're not doing this for a boy. Yeah, probably like you wouldn't be doing this for women because you were in the LDS. You conveniently quickly left that, married 3 women in less than 4 years. Yes, I can see why you will think that I am getting into this for a boy because the way I look at you, you got into this for your Winnie and you have been absent in my life from when I turned 13. How about that? But she can't say all that. So that's where the anger is coming. You're seeing.
But also, I feel like that was a little sexist too, because you're automatically thinking it's because of a boy. I know women
Yeah.
acquiesce, but don't
know.
go
Don't-
there.
don't go there.
even insinuate that. Even if you're thinking it's in
He
the
was thinking
skull,
it,
in
and then
the
he-
back of the
and
skull,
he
you
said
don't
it.
say that.
He did.
You don't say that. Even if it is, you don't go say that stuff,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
You actually ask. Because when you ask that right off the bat, like, it's just sexist. Like, I remember there were times in my life when my father was very sexist. And I just had to look at him like, okay. So, girl, you... Do you, Maddie? We all had to find ourselves. I had to find myself in college. I had to hit rock bottom to climb back from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, my father also has said some things where he's just like,
Because you just want to hit them over the head with a broom and just be like, what?
I just sometimes want to roll my eyes all the way to the back of my head. I wish I could get there. And then roll back. But yeah, so that's all that happened. Episode 2, season 9.
Yes, y'all, but it's
And-
Mary.
And okay, so just to let you guys know, episode 3 we're not gonna do. It's about Janelle, which really
It's really just a playback of everything. I'm sure you guys have heard us
but
talk
it's just
about all this
Janelle.
stuff already.
Exactly. Episode 5 is about Christine,
Right.
so we're not gonna do that. They already did Robin before in season 8, and we didn't do that. We didn't cover that either. And I'm sure they're gonna do Mary soon.
Yeah.
But so the next time when we meet, we will talk about
It is Cody
season 9,
and
episode 4.
Yes, Cody
Yeah.
and Christine's anniversary, and Lord, it is something else.
Yeah.
But it's Mary.
And Alma.
You like us a like,
Subscribe
share,
and
down below.